Hi, I'm Shannon McGee, strategic business coach and franchise owner with Network in Action and NIAX here in the metropolitan Nashville area. And today I have Richard Brasher with Sharebuilt. Thanks for joining me today, Richard.
Absolutely, Shannon. Thanks for having me.
So I'm super excited about our conversation today because it's a little different than my typical interviews. One of my favorite things about our franchise is that I'm able to gift one nonprofit in each group a membership. And I'm super excited about the work you're doing with ShareBuilt. But it's kind of confusing because as far as I know, you guys are the only nonprofit in the US who does what you do. So help us understand what you do with ShareBuilt.
Absolutely, Shannon. So we say we're very much a unicorn. So we serve those that are serving. So we team up with other nonprofits. We're a nonprofit ourselves, as you said, but we team up with other nonprofits and help, introduce them to people in the construction industry. So if a nonprofit's needing um, to build a new building or update their existing one, we help with that. So we can introduce them to the architects, contractors, and serve along with those people. Now, we're not asking the contractors or architects to give away anything for free. We just want them to have that mindset that this is a nonprofit we're working with, and to be mindful of that, and just be as transparent as the construction process moves forward, and yeah, help it help get to the end ahead of schedule and under budget is what we always try to do.
Awesome. Well, and you do so much more than just like someone has a need and you connect them with the vendor, right? There's this amazing work in the middle that you guys do with your volunteers and the folks that help with these projects. Tell us a little bit more because I don't want people to think that you're just hey, I'm building, I need construction, you vetted people, here you go. That's an important thing to make sure you're working with good, reputable companies. But really, the service you provide is way more than that. Help us understand that middle portion that you do.
Yeah, so our volunteers are called Project Shepherds. So they're people that have been in the construction industry for many years. And we just finished one project where the project shepherd the last few months was just reading the one of the main things he was doing was reading the monthly pay apps from all the subcontractors and contractors, and they could be 100 plus pages. So if a nonprofit owner sees those, they're not going to know what they're, it's going to be gibberish to them essentially. So our project shepherd, that's what he did for 40 plus years, is look at those all the time. So he can, essentially do it in his sleep and, make sure nothing's missing and, ask the right questions if need be, but then also kind of guide the client through that and kind of, we can kind of do construction 101 and do some teaching about, this is the process and here's why and all that stuff. And so, we want to get involved in the project as early as possible, even before an architect's involved and, get the civil engineer involved very early. But, we say it's never too early for us to get involved. And then we're there throughout the whole project. So,
Mm.
we like to attend the monthly meetings that they have with the contractors and the architect. And, if there's any change orders, we want to look at that, make sure, everyone's, doing what they're supposed to be doing essentially. And again, we're not the contractor or the architect, but we're just an extra help, an extra set of eyes for the nonprofit who's not used to the construction industry. The construction
Yeah.
industry is very complex, like most industries. And if you don't know it, you don't know where to begin, or, it's easy to get on the wrong foot. So we don't want that. So we're able to help navigate that.
So, so you're really representing the nonprofit and the
We
fact
are.
that,
Yep.
you don't know what you don't know, right? You've got a nonprofit that's great at what they do, but they don't necessarily know about what they need to be looking at, what they need to be asking for, what they need to be reading, what these things look like. And so you're really, as project shepherd, right, representing their best interest and educating them and filling in those gaps throughout the process so that things, I'm sure, happen smoother, more often on time and less surprises, right? And construction costs can get out of hand. Other things can get out of hand. And I can only imagine if you don't know what you're doing, the cost of change orders or getting it wrong or taking too long to analyze the information and get back the answers. I love really that I love the Project Shepherd name. Like that's
Yeah.
perfect. So you're really almost this project manager type. I'm your owner partner. Um, so clearly you want to meet nonprofits that want to build, but who else are you looking to engage with or partner with?
Yeah, absolutely. So always looking for a nonprofit. And some nonprofits might, might not need us. They might have someone on the board or someone that's plugged in that can, fill this role, and that's great. But if
Mhm.
there's a nonprofit that's got no one to turn to, we'd love to talk to them. But the other people we're always looking for are, people in the AEC industry, so the architect, engineers, contractors industry. So any contractor, architect, engineer firm who wants to give back. We have what we call the Friends of Sharebuilt.
Mhm.
So it's a way to be on board with Sharebuilt. So it's how they can give back. But then also we want to meet new ones because everyone's got their lane. Everyone,
Mhm.
if it's an architect and they specialize more in restaurants, we'd love to meet them. And so we're always looking for new architects, contractors to get involved with, so they can help us as well, but also work with our nonprofit clients and find a project that might be perfect for what they're doing.
Awesome. So besides that, so you've got the nonprofits who need to build, you want to meet the vendors, the construction providers, right? Learn their specialty. I'm sure you want people that are either current or retired that are experts at what they do that may be interested in volunteering time as
Mhm.
a project shepherd. And even I love the example you gave because it might not require that you're the dedicated person for the length of the project, but your expertise can come in at this stage. You help us with this one piece of it and then move on. So I'm sure you're open to that as well. Tell me about how other businesses, non-construction, how might somebody else get involved, with ShareBelt, and how might, you partner with another company per se?
Absolutely. So yeah, another great way is, I mean, we work with so many different people with the nonprofit clients. And so people always need something. Hey, do you know a banker? Do you know yada yada? So we're always looking for new people in any industry just because we're in front of so many different organizations and businesses already. I love the phrase, oh, I've got a guy or I've got a girl for that. I love, if it's a random request, hey, do you know a videographer? Yeah, here you go. So just always looking for anyone who's,
Sure.
different industries and also, yeah, anyone who would love to help a nonprofit. We're always looking for that. So,
Well, that's a good point. Is for a company that wants more community exposure, you're a great organization to donate to. You guys do great marketing. You hold events, educational events. I've participated in those. That it can be more than you're just donating to a good cause. It can be the idea that a company can donate to ShareBuilt and also have this community exposure, supporting nonprofits, being a pillar in the community. And I know, you'll always be open to donations and looking at opportunities to partner with companies that want to give back.
absolutely, yeah, and helping us, you're helping so many different people because we're dealing right now. We have 21 nonprofit clients. They're touching the lives of over, I think it's like over 80,000 people combined.
Wow.
And so, helping us is really helping so many different people. And, we're able to help them with their construction needs. But, a lot of times we're building a bigger building than they're currently in so that they're able to help even more people.
I love that. I love that. Well, Richard, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my email address is richard.brasher@sharebuilt.org, and my phone number is 615-506-9211. So either of those are a great way to contact me.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining me today, Richard.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shannon.